Even with low expectations, you still have that little bit of hope that something miraculous is going to happen. Hi ladies, thanks for stopping by. My name is Helen. If you're new here, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome back. I started this YouTube channel last year when I started my IVF journey abroad here in Korea. The reason why I ended up coming to Korea for IVF is because, well, A, I'm originally from here, but B, also because it's incredibly affordable. And as somebody with advanced maternal age, I'm 41 years old, and also a super low AMH, which basically means that I just have less eggs in the reserve than other women my age. I knew that I needed back-to-back retrievals in order to create enough embryos to have a chance at having a child. I'm actually helping a lot of women who are outside of Korea travel to Korea with the company that I started, Bloom Korea. We provide free one-on-one consultations, and you can also consult with the hospitals ahead of time before your travels. So I think it's definitely an opportunity that people can take advantage of because IVF in the States is just so expensive and not as readily available in some states. In California, I remember I had to wait 3 months before I could get my first consultation and with the fertility clinic that I had in mind. So yeah, in Korea, it's not like that. There's not a lot of waiting time. So you can get the best doctor and you don't have to wait a million years for it. So if you're interested in getting affordable and high quality IVF treatments here in Korea, I will leave Bloom Korea's website here so that you can go check it out. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I have a very different hairstyle than my previous hair, which I usually put my hair up in a bun or a ponytail or something like that, but I needed a change after the way the last couple of retrievals had been going. And so, yeah, this is my new mom era look, soft girl era look. Yeah. Anyway, I have to say that like the length of my bangs keeps cooking my eyes. I'm just waiting for it to grow out a little bit so that I can blink without fear for my life. Today, I wanted to share with you kind of the step-by-step process of preparing for an egg retrieval and what an egg retrieval entails and how you take care of yourself after an egg retrieval. So yeah, I'll share that with you today, and stay tuned till the end because I will give you a quick update on how my 10th egg retrieval went. So after the stimulation phase, which is a couple of weeks of injecting yourself with hormones so that you can grow your eggs, when your largest follicle is about 18 millimeters, it's different for everybody. Some doctors prefer to trigger a little bit later, and other doctors prefer to trigger earlier. But my doctor, when she sees that my largest follicle is 18 millimeters, that's when she's like, okay, our next step is the trigger shot. The trigger shot is actually one of the most crucial steps of the whole egg retrieval journey because it has to be taken at the exact time that your doctor tells you to take it. For me, it was 12:30 a.m. Sunday morning, and then they told me to come back to the hospital at 11 a.m. for my egg retrieval so that I can get processed and get ready for my surgery. It's actually not a surgery, but more of a surgical procedure, I guess. I mean, you are going under, so I guess it's kind of a surgery. Basically, what the trigger shot does is it helps your eggs to mature and it prepares them for the egg retrieval. So for about 34 to 36 hours between the trigger shot and the egg retrieval, that's when your eggs start growing like crazy. So yeah, make sure that you set an alarm for the trigger shot because this needs to be at that exact time that your doctor tells you to take it. You can't be late. Make sure that you set an alarm. After your trigger shot, the next day you have a free day, usually free of any injections. And then the day after that is usually when you have your egg retrieval. You'll be asked to fast for about 8 to 12 hours before your egg retrieval. My hospital, they asked me to not have anything to eat or drink after 12 a.m. the night before. So no water, no nothing. This is why I typically prefer my egg retrievals to be super early in the morning so that I can just hurry up and go get the procedure done and then have a glass of water. Another thing is that they'll usually ask you to take some antibiotics the night before with your last meal. This is to help prep your body for the egg retrieval because you don't want any infections from the procedure. Wear something super comfortable. I always just wear sweats to the clinic, but when I do get to the clinic, they give me a hospital gown to change into. It's this very cute pink gown, and they also have like these pink, what do you call those? The thing that you put over your head. I can't think of the word right now. Okay, it's called a surgical cap. So they give you a pink surgical cap along with your pink gown. Very pink, but you know what? I'll take it. So the doctor will basically use a transvaginal ultrasound probe, and she or he will guide a thin needle into each ovary, and the needle is used to gently suck the fluids out of each of the follicles, and the eggs are then collected from this fluid. So the time of the procedure, it usually takes about, like, for me, I would say like 10 minutes usually, because I don't have a lot of follicles to work with, but for the average woman, I would say about 20 to 30 minutes. So depending on the number of follicles, it's just, you know, the time will either be shorter or longer. Also, don't worry, you are asleep for the whole procedure. Now I'm so used to this. I basically lay down on the bed, put my legs up on a harness, and then they cover my area up for some reason. I don't know why. They obviously give me an IV, and they give you the oxygen mask as they're putting you to sleep. So yeah, and then you count and then you go to sleep. And once they're done with the egg retrieval process, they'll move you over to the recovery room where you can kind of rest and take your time to wake up. Most people rest for about an hour before they're up and running again. And well, I wouldn't say running, but until they're up again. When you're up, you're a little bit groggy from the anesthesia. Definitely don't drive. You should take somebody with you that can drive for you. I always take my mom, or if my husband is in town, he will come with me. My hospital always requires somebody to be there to take care of you afterwards. Okay, I couldn't handle the bangs in my face, so we're gonna go like this. Okay, now after your egg retrieval, you're gonna feel a little bit of cramping in your stomach. There are some women who don't really feel anything at all. For me, I feel like I'm in the middle of a really crampy, bad period. So I always need a couple of days to recover from the egg retrieval. I like to just kind of lay down and do nothing and watch TV and let myself really rest, because you know, your body has gone through something pretty hard. It's gone through a lot of hormones. It's gone through needles poking through your uterus and into each ovary to collect your eggs. So this is not a small thing. I can't believe I've done this 10 times, but you know, I feel really, really strong for it. So cramping and bloating, I think that's absolutely normal. But if you start to hurt, if you get a fever, or if you feel like you're really sick, then you need to go to the hospital, because you might have OHSS. And this typically happens more to women who have many, many more follicles. So less to people like me who only have like a couple of follicles. It only happens about 5% of the time, so it's very rare, but it's better to be safe than sorry. So one of my clients also had OHSS, and she asked me after the egg retrieval, is it normal for me to be feeling this bad? I have a fever, I do not feel well, what do I do? And I made her immediately go to the emergency room and get checked in there, because she ended up having OHSS, and this can be life-threatening. So if you feel like you're not feeling very good after an egg retrieval, definitely talk to your doctor about it. Also, after the egg retrieval, you're going to see a little bit of spotting, sometimes, not always. For the next couple of days, I think that's pretty normal. You want to hydrate, drink lots of fluids and rest, because your body's just been through a lot. So you want to give yourself that love and self-care. Avoid strenuous activity for the next few days. If you work, then you can definitely go back to work the next day, but rest for the rest of that day. So that's my advice. One thing that has helped me during, the recovery phase of after the egg retrieval is my red light belt. This is not actually a belt, but I put it on my stomach, and it basically lights up like this. This is the NIR red light therapy belt, or whatever, the strip, I guess, not belt. But I just put this on my stomach, and it helps with healing your uterus and your ovaries. And it's also very warm. So a lot of people use hot packs, but I use this instead because it keeps my belly area warm, and it just kind of helps to heal a little bit faster, I feel. So after an egg retrieval, I usually feel really kind of low energy, low mood, and I wanted to understand what was going on with my hormones. So I decided to start tracking after my last egg retrieval with my Mira device. This is the Mira Hormone Monitor, and it tracks your hormones like FSH and LH and estrogen, as well as progesterone. And this time I wanted to check to see what was going on with my progesterone, because normally in a natural cycle, after you ovulate an egg, the corpus luteum, which is basically, I guess, the thing that was holding the egg, and when it bursts, that starts to release progesterone. When you have an egg retrieval, you're not getting that same effect, right? So what happens to our progesterone? Is that the reason why my mood is so low and why I have such low energy? I wanted to know, so I started tracking, and I realized that my progesterone just does not go up the way that it does in a natural cycle after I ovulate. I also have to actually test again today just to see if my progesterone went up at all. It's 6 days after my egg retrieval, so maybe my hormones are starting to return back to normal. I'm not sure, probably not. This is the Mira wand, and I basically have to dip this in my pee, and then I have to put this in this device, and it will tell me what's going on with my hormones. So I'll keep you guys up to date on that. If you're interested in getting the Mira Hormone Monitor, then I'll link that in the comments below so that you can go check it out for yourself. And make sure that you use my coupon HELLYNN. So today is day 6 after the egg retrieval, and I just tested and I checked my hormones on my Mira device, and it says that my progesterone is higher than 30, which 30 is like the highest on the chart. So I guess it actually did go up. So anyway, I guess the corpus luteum is doing its job even after an egg retrieval. So if the corpus luteum is still functioning, progesterone may initially remain stable or even be elevated right after the procedure due to the ovulatory process. So I guess for some people it does go up. If the egg is not fertilized and no implantation occurs, the corpus luteum will typically degenerate within about 10 to 14 days. So that's usually what happens. Last but not least, let me update you guys on what's going on with me in my IVF journey. So last Monday, I had my 10th egg retrieval. I can't believe it's been 10, but it's been 10. And we actually only had one follicle. I was already feeling kind of down because I only had one follicle. I used to get like at least five last year when I was getting egg retrievals. But this year, I'm a year older. I'm 41 years old. And I can't believe how quickly things are kind of declining. Or maybe it's just my body just getting used to the IVF meds again. I'm not sure. In the beginning, when I first started IVF last year, I also had this problem. I only had like one or two follicles until, all the IVF meds from the previous rounds had started to help me in my current rounds. It is cumulative, and for me, that helped. Getting back-to-back rounds, it made my follicle count go up. I don't know if that is the case this time around, but anyway, I only had one follicle during my 10th egg retrieval, and I kept my expectations pretty low, but oh man, I was woken up by my doctor from my anesthesia. My doctor, she just kind of nudged me and she was like, I'm really sorry, but your follicle is empty. And I remember I just cried for like an hour. I was so devastated. I had low expectations going into it, but even with low expectations, you still have that little bit of hope that something miraculous is going to happen. And so I had an empty follicle this time, and basically my 10th egg retrieval did not work out. Honestly, though, I am feeling okay. That day, I allowed myself to cry all day, and then all night I watched funny stuff on Netflix, and I laughed myself to sleep. Like, I went to sleep at like 7:30 in the morning because I was just watching stuff on Netflix. I needed to allow my brain to rest from all of the pressures and all of the information overload that I was getting. And so, yeah, after all of that, I surprisingly felt better. So I think the important thing is to just let things flow through you. The way to deal with it is to let yourself feel everything. And don't suppress anything, because then you're going to get depressed. So that's basically what happened to me during my 10th egg retrieval. I wish I had better news, but it is what it is. And in the next cycle, I am very hopeful. I'm still very hopeful. I still know that I'm going to become a mom no matter what. So I am hopeful, but at the same time, I think I realized that I'm happy without a child. I'm happy without a baby. And if it happens, it happens. Of course, I would be disappointed if it didn't happen, but I think it's really important to tell myself that I'm perfectly perfect the way that I am right now without a child. And it would be amazing if I did become pregnant. But, I'm going to try really hard to be grateful for everything that I already do have in my life. So that's where I'm at. Anyway, I've been sharing all of this information with my Facebook group and on my Instagram. And a lot of you have reached out to me to let me know that you're thinking of me and supporting me. So thank you so much for your kind words. You guys are the best. If you want to follow me on Instagram, I'll put my handle up here, as well as the Facebook support group. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And please share this video with somebody that you feel might need it. Thank you so much for being on this journey with me, and I will talk to you soon.